I want to welcome in Andrew Lopez of NOLA.com, who covers Tulane football down in New Orleans. Andrew, thanks for joining and welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Now, Tulane comes in off a rough stretch in which their last four opponents had a combined record of, I think it's 30-1. So it's kind of difficult to get a read on the Green Wave. Does this record really indicate the type of Tulane team we've seen this year, given their schedule?
You know what? You have to think so, only because of the way Tulane lost a lot of those games. Up until the last two, you look at the first four losses, obviously they lost to what should be a Duke team that only has one loss, a Georgia Tech team that beat Florida State, and then Temple Houston. They didn't look good at any moment in any of those games. Navy was the first game they actually looked good against a really good opponent. They held that Navy team who, was averaging into that game. I think they were averaging 335 yards on the ground. Tulane holding them to 133, and then Memphis, they're only down 18-13 until late in that third quarter, and they had a chance to really move the ball, but they're playing with their third-string quarterback, and things didn't go as planned there for Tulane. But they showed what they could do in the first half, and I think those two games are what they're going to build upon going forward. They still look like a 2-6 team, but I think that they've shown some life in the past couple of weeks.
All right, quarterback Terrade Lee went out a few weeks back with a concussion. I know he did practice today. I think it was this morning. Just wondering if you know if it was with the ones, or is he just getting back on into the swing of things? And what do you see his status being come Saturday?
I think he plays come Saturday. He missed the Houston game with the concussion, then came back against Navy, and then took a big shot in that game, and it looked to be what the team was calling a, quote, upper extremity injury. So something to do with the arm or hand. A lot of people have been saying it's something to do with the hand in it, but he was a go today. He was making all the passes, short, long, mediums. If I had to bet, I would think that he would be the guy who's going to get the start on Saturday.
Now, since he started missing time, and his place has been Jordy Joseph, what do you like from him? And even if we see Tanner on Saturday, do you expect to see some of Joseph as well?
Joseph is actually the third string. Devin Powell was the guy who started against Houston, who also got hurt in that game, and then you saw a little bit more of Joseph. I think, I would hope for Tulane's sake that you don't see Joseph or Powell on the field, because that would mean something is going terribly wrong. If Tanner is able to go, they're going to stick with Tanner until the end of that game, or if it gets out of hand, or one way or the other. I think obviously that would be the only time you would see one of the backups in, but they're going to go with Tanner as much as possible. Jordy, for what he is, he was a walk-on for 4 years. He earned a scholarship for this past season. He was going to be brought in just really to be the guy to help Tulane out in terms of helping these young quarterbacks. Nothing really major. And then he's thrust into a starting competition, or to a starting role, I should say. He's a guy he may be the smartest guy on that team. He's not going to be able to make a lot of the throws that a Tanner or even a Devin Powell can make, but he's not going to make mistakes. Just didn't know how much he was going to be able to actually move the ball.
I'm talking with NOLA.com's Andrew Lopez. Now, Andrew, these two teams met a season ago. It was a 12-3 Tulane win, actually at Yulman Stadium. It's going to be the second straight game there. In that game, running backs Sherman Beatty and Lezedrick Thompson each had pretty decent games. This season, it seems more of a running back by committee. I know we're going to see Beatty, who is a very shifty type of back, and Thompson's been out a little bit. Can you assess his position, and should we expect to see both again? And what do you expect to see from the running backs on Saturday?
Well, Thompson actually was returning from a high ankle strain this week. He was another one that Coach said he returned to practice this week, so they are expecting, I think, for him to go this week. Dontrell Hilliard has kind of taken the lead back role in the last couple of weeks, but it's very much been hit or miss. I think that was the first time when he got 19 carries last week. That was the first time anybody had gotten more than, I think, 13 the whole year. 14, I think, was Josh Round against UCF. So I think you're going to see all four backs that they kind of have right now: Dontrell Hilliard, Sherman Beatty, Robin Kelly, and possibly Lezedrick Thompson, who's missed. He actually missed that whole 4-game stretch of, like you said, the Temple, Houston, Navy, Memphis. So if they can get him back, I think you'll see all four backs in some form. They want to get all of the backs going, so it's going to be interesting to see how they do this week.
Now, up front, the offensive line of the Green Wave is a little banged up. As senior tackle Arturo Uzdavinas missed the loss to Memphis. How big of a loss was he to the line up front, and is this an area that maybe the UConn defensive line could take advantage of?
I think even with Arturo, I think it's something that they can take advantage of. The two-man offensive line has been struggling this year. They started to finally again put it together in the last couple of weeks. Arturo was in concussion protocol. He was, I believe, Coach had back at practice today. So you're going to see some shifting going along there. The center, Shinley, was out for a little while. He seems to be back up at full strength over Junior Diaz. But it's going to be a chance for UConn to make the moves. And Coach Johnson has talked about this defense, being very stout. And I think you're going to see another ball game like you saw last year when it was 12-3, and it's going to be a tough one.
The final question for Andrew Lopez as we preview Saturday's matchup between UConn and Tulane, which kicks off, as mentioned, in New Orleans at 4 p.m. on Saturday. What are the expectations heading into Saturday down in New Orleans? And specifically, what's the perception of the Huskies program at this point, the second year under Bob Diaco?
Coach Johnson has a lot of respect for this team. He talked UConn up just as much as he talked any other team. I think he called UConn one of the best programs in the American. So there's no lack of respect coming from this Tulane coaching staff. He talked a lot about having to defend, and he's very impressed with the defense and with what UConn is doing, what the Huskies are doing. He wants to see if this team can now take what they've been doing in the last couple of weeks, those good performances, and see if they can apply them against UConn this week.
All right, thanks, Andrew, for joining, and I definitely look forward to catching up with you down the line.
Thanks, man.